Hey guys, welcome to this radio video, and this video is to tell you a little bit who I am. Now that you've seen me on my video where I want to have your feedback, someone told me why not do a video and explain why I'm so crazy about radio. And so here it is. This is my little story. I'm going to try to keep it short. So what started up my radio hobby? First of all, is the fact that it's electronics. I'm a big electronics fan. Everything that has, transistors and even old-time radios with lamps and tubes and all electronics, computers, everything that works with electronics, I love, and I've loved since I was small. So radio is one of my passions that comes from my love of electronics. I first had a radio receiver in my hand when I was about 10 years old. In 1979, my father had bought a multi-band radio. It was a cheap radio, but it was nonetheless amazing for a 10-year-old guy. And so I tuned around, and there was one of the portion of that radio that had SW. I had no idea what it was. I was tuning around. It had like all these weird sounds and noises, and then someday I stumbled across a English language program, and it says, "Hey, this is the BBC in London," and I was like, "London, Ontario." I know you're gonna laugh at this one, and I was like, I couldn't, believe that I could hear London in England, so I was thinking, well, it must be London, Ontario. And so in 1982, my father was watching me go through the Radio Shack catalog that I loved because it was like candy to my eyes. The Radio Shack catalog was really amazing for me, and I stumbled upon this Realistic DX100, and I thought it was so cool, and they were saying you could hear the world and everything. So to my surprise, I started putting money away, and I was telling myself one day I'll have the it was $100. I'll have the $100 and I'll go and get my radio. And what happened is my father had a promotion, and the salary came up, and so one day I was missing about $50. I was halfway through. One day my father in the morning said, "Hey, you want a radio?" I said, "Yeah." He told me how much you're missing. I said, "Well, about $60 because you had the radio plus the tax and everything." So he gave me $60 and said, "Well, go and get your radio." And I was just so happy. I was at that point, in '82, I was 13 years old. It's the first time ever I had $100 in my pocket. I was just amazed, and I went and got the radio, brought it home, and thanks to a very, very nice and informative manual, something that's not there today. The manuals with the radios today are just so bad. They could be much better. And that manual with the DX100 explained what shortwave was, explained where to listen to all sorts of signals, utility signals, AM radio signals, stations from around the world, and it had in the last page a outdated but nonetheless a list of radio stations with their frequencies, and I started tuning around, and that manual made me understand more of shortwave, and I was amazed. I remember the first night that I tuned, I heard Israel, I heard Russia, I heard so many countries. I was amazed, and back in 1982, shortwave was not what it is today. I mean, every tenth of an inch of the shortwave band was filled with signals. And I mean, in the evening, you had to decide which ones you were going to listen to because you couldn't listen to everything. There was at least 10 or 15 or 20 different stations in English to North America at the same time. on different frequencies. So one night you had to choose, okay, tonight I'm going to listen to Israel, tomorrow I'm going to listen to Romania, the next day I'm going to listen to Russia, and so on and so on. And I mean, that sparked something just incredible in me. I understood one thing is that radio was going to be part of my life, and I just continued. So I had this DX100 from 82 to about 1985. And in 1985, my father bought at a flea market a used DX302, which had a digital readout. So I started tuning around with that radio, which I really liked because the digital readout finally was so much easier to tune signals. And it was not, you know, a perfect radio, but it was okay. And that went up to 1991 when I bought my first high-end receiver. While going through the listings in the newspaper, I saw a guy that was selling a Kenwood R5000 for $700. And basically the Kenwood R5000 here in the store, brand new, was like $1349. So it was like $1,349 plus tax, plus the filters, because you need to change at least one filter in the Kenwood if you want to perform it good. The AM filter is really bad. So it would make like $1,600 or a little more. And when I saw that guy said, well, $700 and it has the AM filter, I was like, wow, that's a deal. It's half price, even more. So I went. I had a job back then, and I remember I asked my mother, can I borrow $700? And my mother said, what for? Well, you know, I love radio, and I'm going to give it back to you like $100 a month for 7 months, you know. So she lent me the $700. I went with my brother to the guy's home. I looked at the radio, turned it on, tuned around, because I wanted to, you know, I knew what shortwave was, so I tuned around to make sure it worked well. And it seemed to be in perfect condition. So $700 later, had my Kenwood R5000, brought it home, and that was my main receiver for 15 years. It's still in good working condition. It's a friend of mine that has it. The guy's really good in electronics. What happened is that my Kenwood R5000 stopped working. It developed it actually had that dots. The frequency just shows dots because the PLL lock, the phase lock loop, loses its lock. So the radio doesn't know where it is anymore. And so he was good in electronics, and I had a new job, bigger salary, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna buy a new receiver. You know, for years I had looked at the ICOM ICRD 500, and I could have chosen maybe something a little more modern, because for the price I could have had maybe a receiver that was, you know, with more of the new electronics of today. But yet I wanted the R8500. It was, you know, I was looking at it for like 10 years, and I was like, I want this radio. One day I'm gonna have that radio. And so at Radio World in Toronto, I believe they had a special deal, and it was sold for $1,750 for the uncut version, the one that it's not, it doesn't have any holes in the frequency. So it's when I saw the price, I was like, okay, I'm buying it. So I bought it brand new for $1,750, and I gave my R5000 to my friend, but with a deal. It's a deal. There's a package deal there. I told him, I'm going to give you this radio because I know you're going to fix it, and it's going to be a cool shortwave radio for you. But in return, what I want is that if one day, sorry for the phone here that's ringing, what I told is, if one day you don't want it anymore, you're not allowed to sell it to anyone or to give it to anyone else but me. If one day you don't want to have the R5000 anymore, it comes back to me. That's the only deal that I want with you. So he said, cool, no problem. So he fixed it, works #1, and so he's happy. And I'm happy also because I love my 8500, my Icon. And of course, in there I bought scanners, I bought the ICOM ICR20 portable receiver, I bought lots and lots of radio. I'm a big radio maniac, so you know, when I have some loose change around or some money that's, you know, I have some money to spend, if I find a radio that I like, I will probably, the chances are really high that I'll buy it. And with the internet and eBay, wow, all the radios that you can buy now, it's incredible. So that's my story, and for my personal life, I am, as of this video, 2014, I'm going to be 45 years old in a month. And I am a tech guy. I've been a tech guy for 15 years. I go around town here in Montreal, fix people's computers and small companies. It's my own little company, my own little business called Atelier Informatique. And I've been fixing computers for 15 years now. And it's a good business. And what's nice is because I'm my own boss, it enables me to give me some time to do radio. That's why you see a lot of videos. You know, I'll have days that I just will say, okay, tomorrow I'm not taking any clients, and I'm gonna do some radio. I'm gonna have a full day of radio and stuff like that. And that's when I make a lot of those videos, when I have some radio time and some free time. So that's my little story. Hope it wasn't too boring for any for you guys to listen to. And here's a little look at my little radio storage space. Here's the radios, some radios there, some more radios here, and some more radios over there. And you know, I also have electronics love, so I've got these old computers also. Here's an Amiga 500 and Atari ST next to it. I'm really into electronics and stuff. And last but not least, I'm just gonna tell you one thing. I've opened a new channel that I will link with my shortwave. Since a lot of you listening or watching my videos are more into shortwave, I decided to do a VHF UHF channel. That's going to be 30 megahertz and up. So just look for the official VHF UHF channel, and if you want, if you like, you know, VHF UHF listening, trunking and scanners and stuff, that's going to be my other channel. So I'm going to make videos for you know, that channel, and also for the shortwave part, so that this part will only have shortwave videos. So anything about you know, from 0 to 30 megahertz, and anything above 30 megahertz is going to be on my VHF UHF channel, and that's going to be 30 megahertz to 3300 megahertz, because I can go up to 3.3 gigahertz is the highest frequency I can catch with one of my receivers. So check that, and you can subscribe if you also love to listen to scanners and have all sorts of explanation on radio scanners, trunking, and what's the frequency bands and what we can hear. So hope you'll enjoy that channel also. So thanks for watching, and 73s, and thanks for you know, being there. It's fun to see all of you having fun and asking all those questions, and also telling me that you enjoy all the videos that I make. You know, it makes me even want to do more, because it's just so cool. And soon I'm going to do Google Hangouts. I will have to test it, so if any one of you out there wants to test it, just tell me. And we'll try to schedule something and maybe test a hangout and see how it goes, and then I'll be able to you know, do some Google Hangouts that everybody can come to and watch the video live, feed video, and you know, we'll tune around the radios, talk about the shortwave and everything. So I think that could be really, really, really cool. 73s, guys.